Hey, what's going on, guys? My name is Stravos, and today is Leap Day, at least at the time of posting this. So obviously I'm gonna post a G-Slide tutorial on Leap Day, right? So this is the new and improved G-Slide 2.0, not really improved, it's just more exclusive, which can be a positive, can be a negative. It's mostly a negative. But let's just call it exclusive. Yeah. Yeah. So anyways, I'm just on Stronghold in a custom games team deathmatch. Doesn't really matter what game mode it is, or yeah, what game mode it is. But I put the time, I edited the game rules and put the time to unlimited. Make sure you do that when practicing the G-Slide on any map. You could also go to free run, of course, but on this map in particular, you can very easily spawn on the Black Ops side, at least. If you spawn over there, just switch teams easily. But you can easily just jump to here on a ledge. Ledges are very good for practicing the G-Slide. And then you can practice on flatland for your normal average use as well. So I just like this map because it has a very easy start. It looks pretty. It's nice. But yeah, so we're going to be talking about the G-Slide here. Now, I'm going to give a little bit... Actually, first, before I get any further, I created the original G-Slide, but I did not create this one. This is not my creation. Many people found out how to do it, but the first person to actually figure out the correct way to do it every single time, the actual ruling behind why the new way works, is cost. And I'll put his link in the description. Now, most people think that a YY is involved. And those people, there's only a select group of people that it will be able to work for. And I'll tell you why later. But the YY is completely extraneous. It doesn't matter. And it's the same exact method, except you just don't need to YY, so why would you, right? Why add more to something and make it more complicated? There's no reason to YY, you guys. No reason whatsoever. So it is the same method as well, by the way, and you can test that for yourself and confirm it for yourself, whatever. But the original G-Slide, all you had to do was jump, slide, thrust. And what I mean by slide is holding the slide button midair. You can release it, whatever, but just pressing it for long enough to lock in the slide. But all you had to do was jump, slide, thrust. But now what happens, if you pay attention, watch, this is not quite, this one is not quite going all the way to the ground. And watch my arc going back up to the sky, okay? I slowly rise back up into the sky. Yeah, just peacefully, slowly climbing back up. But what they did is when you're trying to G-Slide, watch this. You instantly get shoved back up into the sky. Like, your velocity, your vertical velocity just gets set at 0 or something. And then you start going back up. There's no arc. All it is woo, woo. It's not woo, it's woo, woo. So, like, that is not, like, why would they choose to do that as a code? All you had to do, from a developer standpoint, all you should have to do is if you're thrusting while midair and you try to slide, so if you're thrusting and sliding at the same time, then stop you from being able to thrust. That's all. That's all they had to do. Just make it so you can't thrust and slide at the same time. But no, not only were they idiots for patching the G-Slide, but they're idiots doing the patch too. I can't. Anyways, I could rant about that forever, and I probably will. But for this video, I'm just going to teach how to do it in the first place. So, without further ado, I'll probably make a sign saying to go to this point in the video if you want just the tutorial, but what I said so far is pretty knowledgeable if you want it for your learning curve, because more information helps your learning curve, get you to know it faster. But that piece of code that makes you just slam up into the sky, like like that stupid thing that affects your arc back up into the sky, you can bypass that by just sliding late. So instead of letting the whole time of your descent to be able to catch if you're sliding and thrusting while midair, all you gotta do is get your slide to happen late. So instead of jump, slide, thrust, you do jump, slide, thrust. So it's all about the rhythm and position of the slide. Jump, slide, thrust. And that's why people thought the YY worked, because they would jump, YY, slide, thrust. Because of the timing of that, right? But you don't need to do the YY. It's completely extraneous. It doesn't matter if you do that. And that means that for people like me that tried doing it jump, slide, YY, thrust, they weren't able to make it work. And they gave up. Jump, YY, like, you won't be able to make it work if you do it jump, slide, YY, thrust. You just can't. But doing it jump, YY, slide, thrust, you can. That was a bad example, but whatever. But yeah, don't even YY. Just don't. Don't do it at all. Just jump, slide, thrust. And when you get good enough at doing it off a ledge, you can start doing it on the ground. So jump, slide, thrust. Oops. Tut, tut, tut. Tut, tut, tut. Tut, tut, tut. Yeah, that was bad. Tut, tut, tut. Tut, tut, tut. And again, why this even works is you are bypassing that check that it does for the slide and thrust in the air and whatever by just doing your thrust immediately after your slide. But since you have to do the thrust while you're about to land, because it's... Some people think that it's a jump after you land, but it's a thrust before you land while you're going downward to the ground. Okay? But yeah, just jump, slide, thrust. And you'll know if you do it right because, or if you're doing it right and you do it too early. Like, this is a good way to tell if you're getting the timing down on the thrust or the slide thrust. Is if you jump, slide, thrust, you'll find yourself doing a kind of dip in the air. Like, instead of just rising up like that, you'll kind of dip downward, it'll feel like, because it's just an effect of crouching midair and having the whole thing happen, but you'll feel like you're kind of dipping. I'll tell you when it happens. There. You just kind of do a normal downward dip, where if you did it the normal G-slide way, you just kind of accelerate out of it, and it just kind of instantly pulls you out. Where doing it the actual way that you're supposed to now, the jump, slide, thrust, it kind of dips you. Like that. But, yeah, so go on the ledge here to test it out and get used to it. Because see all that time that that thrust acceleration into the air? See, that was a badly timed one, and I still got it. So that's how you can figure out if you're doing it right, if you're doing it correct by starting up there, if you're getting the timing of the slide thrust part correct. And then once you get used to that, then just kind of getting into the smaller timing on flat land. But yeah, that's the video. Hopefully it wasn't too long for you guys, but I just wanted to make sure it was perfectly reasonable and sound, and so that I could describe exactly how it worked to you guys, so there were no questions whatsoever, and you guys were also more knowledgeable for it. And one last tip, by the way, if you miss and thrust too early, normally what happens is this. Hang on. I'm actually not able to get it to work. Normally what can happen is you slide, but I guess I'm not getting into the air high enough, like that. Normally, you have a very high chance of sliding at the end. I don't know why it's not happening as much as it should be. Huh. Wow. But a lot of the time, you end up sliding. So to counter that, you can just tap left trigger a little bit and aim down sight, which helps you slow down. Well, I meant to miss, but I accidentally did it. But yeah, just tapping left trigger a little bit helps you slow down. So if you miss and you're in a public match, you might want to do that. But apparently I'm really good at not making it happen. So, oh, there we go. That time it happened. Yeah, you're just at very high risk of it. Man, I'm meaning to miss these times. But anyways, that's all for the video. So I'll see you guys later. Goodbye.